Well, thank you very much for having us. We're always excited to be here at MEF events. My name is Stephen Frank. I drive the business development activities for Deezer in the region. Deezer is one of the largest music streaming services in the world, originated out of Paris, France, now in 180 plus countries around the world. 35 million plus music tracks and building that out into different markets. We're most active in this region in Southeast Asia, so I drive the business development activity there out of Singapore. So really focused on Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, Australia, Australasia, some business in South Korea, and looking now at what we could do in South India, what's happening in South India now. It's a very interesting and unique music market. And a very interesting and unique telco and prepaid market. So kind of looking at those two and seeing what we might be able to do here in the future. As you look at our business, so far at the show it's been great. My panel's not until later this afternoon. We've had some very good discussions based on the telco side. You've had other groups come in and talk about specific local content providers and what they've been able to do in the market and how they're looking at monetizing and distributing in this market. Our panel, the panel I'll be on later on today, is a bit more of the international players and how we look at each of the different markets and what we're trying to accomplish in them. It's always a challenge when you come into a market or you look at a large collection of markets like South Asia or Southeast Asia or Asia as a whole as an international player, because you end up coming in with a one-size-fits-all product, which never works. And so the real challenge is not only how you face your customers and how you face distribution in that market, but also how you manage that internally in the company. So how you're selling back to your own opco and saying, okay, this is what we do on a worldwide basis, but because we're now in Indonesia or because we're now in India, what do we have to change? How do we have to maneuver things? So part of my discussion today, we'll be talking a little bit about that and how Deezer tries to drive kind of a super serving atmosphere within the company. So not just serving music listeners as a whole, because basically everybody is kind of a music listener. If you have the facility to listen to music, most people do. And so from that standpoint, where in each market is a market that is being underserved, a group of customers that are being underserved that we might be able to serve. So that could be local users or local listeners in Indonesia that have a particular type of music style. The same in Thailand, the same in the Philippines. In India it would be the same. Everybody here is chasing the Bollywood music scene. Are there other scenes here that might be underserved that we could take a look at? So kind of discussing those in a general context, not specific to a solution in India yet, because as mentioned, we're still trying to find what that would look like. But talking about it from a context of what Deezer does and how we try to do it. So we're trying to get as local as we can as an international player, bringing local people on the ground to do music curation. We call these our Deezer editors, but to have them look at different music markets in the country and figure out where we might be able to super serve someone who's not being served today, and how we can also monetize that in the process. Well, no, I think it's very important for Deezer to reach as many markets as we can. Kind of the DNA of the company is to bring music to the world, and so we want to be doing that as much as we can. Having said that, it's always a challenge to enter into a new developing market. Music services as a subscription streaming service started in developed markets. The model is most well known and most well understood in developed markets. Our customers, as an end users, understand the kind of monthly subscription and are willing to pay 8, 9, 10 euros a month. 8, 9, 10 pounds a month maybe in the UK for a service like this. In developing markets, that's not an option. Are we able to hit a $3, $4, $5 price point? Can our supplier network of music labels reach that kind of price point and deliver the type of service that they want inside their ecosystem as well? Are continuing challenges that we're having. And how do you look at even concepts of sachet serving? So instead of serving a monthly type of content or a monthly type of subscription service, is weekly the best for this particular market? Is daily a best for this particular market? I haven't seen a one-size-fits-all yet anywhere. In Southeast Asia, where we have a lot of developing markets, in South Asia certainly it's almost completely developing markets. So these are things that I would say we're still evolving into solving. We learn something every day. We have a large network through our telco partners in Thailand and Malaysia and the Philippines. We've been quite successful in those markets with our partnerships and in delivering music to subscribers. But there's always something else to learn. There's always another group of customers we could reach. And so still trying to figure that out. So jury's still out from a success standpoint. The streaming music industry is still very new to most of the world. New players are entering all the time, local players, you're reading the news, big international players, and so there's a lot to happen, and it's an exciting place to be, so we certainly enjoy that.